Hi, let's talk about dry validation coercion. Last time we were working on this contract and today we added expectations on the types associated with each key. For instance, email and referral must be strings, whereas age is expected to be an integer. So if we pass valid data to this contract, it's valid and the resulting data is exactly the one that we passed. But what if now we give to the contract a symbol for instead of a string for the email? Now it complains, it returns that value, but it also says that the email must be a string, so the data violates the contract that we set. And the same goes for the referral. If it's an optional key, so if we pass valid data, the result is successful. But if we instead pass a symbol as well here, it fails and it completes. So for optional keys, if they are missing at all from the payload, it's acceptable, but once they are present in terms of having the key part of the payload here, they must to adhere to the type expectation. Now let's have a look at params and how this kind of schema behaves. So if we pass expected types of data, that means string for email and integer for age, it of course returns a successful result. But what happens if we pass a string as an integer? It's successful. Why is that? Because params is designed for web applications. Okay, and web applications in Ruby ecosystem means compatibility with the rack protocol, and the implementation of the rack protocol only supports three kinds of data. The first one is a string, second one are arrays, and the third one are hashes. So what that means, if a user submits a form with the age of 37, it's interpreted by a web server like Puma and by the low-level stack of your web framework as a string. So it arrives to us as params as a string, and here we define that it must be converted into an integer. Okay, so this is extremely useful to guarantee that the incoming data is transformed and is coerced from one type, in this case a string, into an integer. But what happens if we do this? We pass a non-meaningful value as an integer. Now it fails because it tries so hard to convert that string into an integer, but it gives up and says, hey, I cannot do this coercion, so I just surrender and tell you that the validation failed, and the reason is in the third line there with the error message. So if we get back here, I want to show you one last thing, which is once I know that the result is successful, then I can be 100% sure that the age that I get from the dry validation result is 100% an integer, so I can do integer operations on top of it, right? So just to recap, in combination with the whitelisting, type coercion provided by dry validation are an extremely useful set of tools to guarantee that the incoming data is made of the keys that you expect, which is responsibility of the whitelisting, and of the types that you expect, which is responsibility of the coercions. So I hope that you find this useful. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.